There are some saints in India, they are visionary saints. There are saints and there are different types of saints. There are some who are very quiet. Some are, they are quiet, and through quietness, through stillness they talk. For example, recent times, if you see a person like Tapovan Maharaj, who was a traveler and most of the time Mauni. When he has to take a class or something, he will talk, otherwise quiet. And there was a person like Aurobindo, a freedom fighter, a revolutionary, and I think in 1905 or 7 he came to Pondicherry. He never left Pondicherry after that, from Bengal. Then 1907, I think, he entered that building, one building where he is living. He never came out of the building, stayed there only. He didn't step out after that, where the Aurobindo ashram is there. I think in 27 or so, he went into a room, Aurobindo, and never came out of the room. When he died, they brought the body out. So almost 20 years he was just in that room. Some people alone used to go meet him, but he was there inside the room. Yogi Aurobindo. Ramana Maharshi, for example, he spoke very, very minimum. So there are saints of that kind. And there are saints who are dynamic and visionary. When we start looking at Valmiki, he was a visionary saint. Valmiki gave India something which is priceless. He gave India dharma. The way in which he wrote Ramayana, the glory of Ram, and as Dharma Shastra, what he gave is amazing. One cannot believe it. The things what he has supplied. So, Valmiki is a visionary saint of India. Otherwise, we would not have got Ramayana so beautiful. 24,000 verses, Valmiki Ramayana. Then there was Vyasa. We can't think of Hinduism without Vyasa. Veda mantras were all in the verbal tradition, was transmitted through verbal tradition. One person will memorize, then hand over. One will memorize and then hand over. Now this was something people were doing in the past very sincerely, because that's the way they memorized and they handed over. And slowly people must be losing out their memory. Memory must have been on the decline. Like yesterday we saw Guru Stotram chanting. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurura Dhiranadisya. You understood? Chanting. One verse, you take one line from here, take another line, mix it up. Memorizing. Imagine the danger. And some verses could be forgotten, some could be added, because the entire Vedas were remembered here. People sat, read. Not reading, listening. They listen. And say. Repeat, memorize. Hear, repeat, memorize. Hear, repeat, memorize. This is how the entire tradition was there. Once upon a time, imagine the whole Veda, people used to do that. Nobody wrote it down. People said, don't write it down. We heard it, we are giving it to you. You hear it and you memorize. But people were mixing it up, forgetting various things. So immediately Vyasa felt this would be dangerous. Veda would be lost completely. Let us write it down. And for the first time he tried. And he said, let's write it down. When a person comes up and says something traditional system, and we said, let us change, we'll do this now, people are not going to accept. He revolted. He said, this order will not work further. Future will not have Vedas. Don't think it has to be given. By verbal tradition only very few people can memorize. And that too, then when you limit it down to few section of people, then nothing would be left. So Vyasa said, forget it, we'll write it down. Wrote the whole thing. Got his people and he said, go across Akhanda Bharat. Go to all corners of that Bharat, and whatever mantras they are chanting, collect it, start writing it down, bring it together, we will compile. And he compiled Veda. Brilliant visionary. He also gave us puja vidhi. Vyasa only gave. Idol worship. Before that, there was no idol worship. They were all only fire, water, rain, air, natural elements were worshipped. Of course, there were mention of Rudra and here that, but people were not worshipping. Vyasa brought idol worship. So if you can see, Vyasa is the father of idol worship. He did that. He compiled Veda mantras, he brought idol worship, he brought puja vidhi, how to do. And then he also wrote Mahabharata, he wrote 18 Puranas, he wrote Brahma Sutra. Think of Hinduism devoid of Vyasa. Nothing would be there. Great visionary. So Valmiki was one visionary, Vyasa was another one, and after that we see one of the brilliant, great visionary is Adi Shankara. Age of 32, he finished his work. From 16 he started, and 32 he finished. Travelled across India. You all came to Chennai by road. How did you all come? Train? How long it took? How many kilometers from Chennai here to Chennai? Approximately. I'm not asking. I'm talking India, South India, that too. I'm not talking what is the distance between Moscow and China or something. I'm asking India, from here to Chennai. 700. Big jump. Come on, you all need to know these. It's your country. Trivandrum to Kasaragod, how many kilometers? $600? 590. Only 590 or more? More, I think. Ernakulam, Trivandrum? Ernakulam, Calicut? Calicut, Kasaragod? 150, 170? 700? Okay. If you have to walk Trivandrum to Kasaragod, how many days it will take? Padayatra. 700 kilometers. How many kilometers you will cover per day? 20, 30? Shankara walked across India, length and breadth, 4 times. Across India, length and breadth, 4 times, from the age of 16. 16 to 32 years. What must be the work he was doing? How much distance per day he must be covering, establishing mutts, renovating temples, writing commentaries, debating one-on-one with the most intelligent people of that time, convincing them. Think. When you set off from here to Kailash Mansarovar, and from Mansarovar you go up to Gujarat, Dwaraka, think how much distance. Continuously walking is the only mode he adopted. 4 times he walked across. Young man, dynamic, one of the brilliant visionaries. Wrote the commentaries, wrote the books, restructured Puja Vidhi, made it a little more simpler. So many temples were renovated, including Badrinath temple. So many temples he went and put yantras, Sri Yantra, etc. And commentaries, and many, many small texts. What must be the person? Another great visionary. So Valmiki, Vyasa, Shankara, visionaries. After that came Tulsidas. Another very, very brilliant visionary. He wrote Ramayana, which was there in Sanskrit, into Hindi. Nobody before that attempted. Because they said Valmiki has written, forget it, we don't have to write, it is there in Sanskrit. And when he started writing, when people came to know he was writing, they went and destroyed his manuscript. You write a few pages, they'll destroy it. The conservative thinking at that time, they said, how dare you do it? Ramayana should be in Sanskrit. And who's speaking Sanskrit? How many people were talking Sanskrit? Sanskrit went off because Sanskrit, we said, only one exclusive group will learn. All others need not learn Sanskrit. We killed the language. Please understand, Sanskrit did not disappear that way. It was deliberately killed. Unknowingly. And now we are trying to bring it back. But that's how it was lost. A language which was common, very ancient language, which was common for all. But then when we say only one section of people, only one community will read it. And that community also can't read it. So the rest of them got disconnected from the language. And slowly it gone. At that condition, now how many people will read and understand Ramayana? So he said, Ram's glory cannot be lost in language getting lost. It has to be written down. So he wrote it in Hindi. People were tearing off his manuscripts. He said, nothing, we will work on it. somehow convinced the people, then wrote Ramayana so that in that language, in the language they know, Ram's glory was brought into. Most of North India, Central India, East and Western India, Ramayana went again, spread again because of Tulsidas. Detailed. Great visionary. So Valmiki, Vyasa, Shankara, Tulsidas. After that came Vivekananda, who took the Indian philosophy across the seas. Before that, nobody was crossing the sea. People were scared. The Shastra did not permit them to go out of the sea, out of the land. So he crossed the seas. He said, nothing doing. That is important. Let's go give it. People were not ready. When Vivekananda finished his tour, when he came, they said he has to be purified. Because he crossed the sea, he became impure. Who's going to purify Vivekananda? The Pandita. The Pandit will chant some mantras and Vivekananda will become pure. The Pandit is pure enough to chant. Who is there to purify a Brahmanishta? A person like Vivekananda. And they did, no, you have to do purification. Shuddhi. Crazy. Yeah? Think. He broke the law. He said, we take it out. Come on, it has to reach people. And one of the most beautiful, finest representatives of India. In Ramayana, when Hanuman meets Ram for the first time in Rishyamukh Parvat, when he meets him for the first time, the way in which Hanuman presents himself in front of Rama, the way in which Rama was observing, watching Hanuman, Ram tells Lakshman, this man who is in front of us, he has studied all 4 Vedas. Just an introduction. What should be the introduction? Sir, who are you? What brings you here? I am so and so, I live here. This all would have been the conversation. Who are you? What brings you here? But there is a way in which you ask, the way in which you present, the skills of presentation. That presentation, he has seen him. The way in which he presented. Ram tells Lakshman, this man, because he went dressed as a pandit. He didn't appear like a monkey. Hanuman had the ability to change the form. So he went there and presented himself differently. And immediately Ram tells, this man who is standing in front of us knows all 4 Vedas. Think. What is the tone you use in your presentation? Tone. What are the words you use? Choice of words. Body gesture, hand movements, eye expression. It's just one sentence, but the expression of the eye, the facial pleasantness, the right amount of smile which can win the confidence of the person sitting there. Everything to the perfect. Immediately Ram tells, here is a man who knows all 4 Vedas. Presentation is very important. When Vivekananda went to USA for the first time to give his talks, he was to address the Parliament of Religion. He lost his papers, documents, everything gone. And nobody wants to even give him a chance. Somebody there who met him on the road felt he's one of the best guys, you should give him a chance. So because of his recommendation, Vivekananda was allowed to be in the Parliament of Religion because he did not belong to any organization. At that time, there was no organization called Ramakrishna Mission. There were Arya Samaj, there was Brahma Samaj, different people were there. Some Theosophical societies, people were there. Then there were Buddhist, some Buddhist organizations were there, Venerable so-and-so, like that and all that. And he did not even have an organization. So they did not even give him a chance to talk. But since locally from America, there was somebody who recommended very strongly, okay, towards the end of the day, first day of the Parliament of Religion, he is come, let him, and there is a recommendation, we will give him a chance in the end. Towards the end, if people are getting up and going, it's okay, we'll make him talk, so that we fulfill that recommendation. That's how the organizers felt, okay, give him a chance. And he was called, and he said, and he was introduced, wandering monk of Hindustan, wandering monk of India, did not even have an address. From where are you coming? Which organization do you belong? No address, nothing. Wandering monk. A monk who keeps wandering from India. Vivekananda speak. Last. And he spoke for 2 minutes. Sisters and brothers of America, it gives me great joy. 2 minutes presentation, which changed the face of India. It's a 2 minutes presentation. Complete change. So when we get an opportunity, we should know how well we can use that opportunity. We cannot squander. Opportunities may not come again and again. That opportunity which comes, or those opportunities which come, we must catch them. And those 2 minutes he did. He made the presentation. And after that, every day Vivekananda was made to talk, because after that the posters went up in the roads of Chicago. What a brilliant talk he gave, and this was the best, and the way in which he said, everybody loved him. And posters went up in Chicago. In Parliament of Religion, there's a big speaker, beautiful, people put posters. And just to retain crowd, every day they said, today Vivekananda will speak. People will wait. And they used to make him speak in the end, so that other speakers has an audience because of him. Everybody will say, okay, he's going to talk, let us wait. First day they did not know him. Now that's called presentation. From there he took on the contribution he did to India. That too when we were slaves. Showed the world what the philosophy is. He set that foundation for Hinduism. Outside India, he showed you can go. There are people who will like this philosophy. You can teach them. You can come back to India. He set that example. People revolted. They did not like him, but he said he'll do it. There are people who went across India even before that, but not sannyasis. A sannyasi should not cross the seas. Maybe people said because other parts of the world people were not ready. But Vivekananda did not cater to all that. He crossed and he went. Made a difference. Put Indian philosophy, Hindu philosophy on world map. This man did that. Visionary saint. Valmiki, Vyasa, Shankara, Tulsidas, Vivekananda, and in the recent times it was Gurudev who took this message across the world in a language which the scriptures could be understood. Vivekananda spoke philosophy in English, but not like taking a text and talking that in English. His talks were very general. Gurudev went specific. Nobody before Gurudev spoke Upanishads in English to common man. People from any background, from any culture, any religion, any continent, any caste can come and attend. First time that happened. It was not before. Anybody can come and this is all yours. God has given this to you. You must learn. And he did that. Anybody from anywhere in the world. Everybody in the world has a right to this knowledge. It has to be given and he gave it. People did not like. Why are you talking in English? Yeah, that's what Tulsidas did. When he did it and bring it in Hindi, he said, why are you doing it in Hindi? When he wrote. These are people who have nothing else to do but simply protest. Keep destroying. And they'll think they are guardians. Why he did it. He went out and he said, forget it, we need to reach. And reached her. These are 6 people. Great visionaries India has produced. Valmiki, Vyasa, Shankara, Tulsidas, Vivekananda and Gurudev. When we write our own history someday, spiritual journey of India, if someone writes spiritual history of India, see, history has many histories. Scientific history of India. People have to write. We need to do these kind of things. What is scientific history of India? What is art history of India? Architectural history of India? Cultural history of India? Spiritual history of India? When we write spiritual history of India, we cannot forget these 6 names. There are many more people, but these 6 are major effects. So like that, Tulsidas was one of those visionary saints. He wrote Tulsi Ramayana. In Tulsi Ramayana, you have this portion called Vibhishan Gita, a dialogue between Vibhishan and Lord Ram. There's a dialogue between Lord Ram and Lakshman that is called Ram Gita. There is a dialogue between Lakshman and Guhan. The dialogue between Lakshman and Guhan is called Lakshman Gita. A dialogue written in poetry form, Gita. A dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, poetically written, Bhagavad Gita. Now remember this, Ramayana and Mahabharata, history poetically written. Let's understand this very clear. They are not history written in the history style. Ramayana and Mahabharata are history poetically written. When you write poetically, the poet has the liberty to exaggerate something, glorify it, write it in symbolism. The poet has that liberty to do. So Ramayana, Mahabharata, it has happened. That's why it is called Itihasa, but written poetically. So you must be very clear. When you say, Bhagavad Gita was a dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. Yes, it was a dialogue in the battlefield, which Vyasa compiled poetically. It can't be, Arjuna and Krishna was talking in meter form. In poetry they were talking. Arjuna asked a question poetically using a particular meter. And Krishna answered him back in poetry. It was a dialogue. Just like you and I talk, it was a dialogue. But when someone writes it in a lyric form, in a poetry, you do it. You choose a particular meter and then you do. So history in India, mainly Ramayana and Mahabharata, are poetically written. So, Vibhishan Gita is poetry again. Tulsidas writes, a dialogue between Ram and Vibhishan. Vibhishan goes to he's in the battlefield. Almost all other warriors of Ravana are over. Most of them are finished. They were killed, all gone. Now Ravana is coming to the battlefield and Vibhishan knew Ravana's strength. What is Ravana's capacity? What is Ravana's power? Vibhishan knew it very well. Final war between these two. All others are over. Now if Ram finishes Ravan, war is over. This is the final between these two. And Ravana is a powerful, powerful warrior. He comes to the battlefield. Tomorrow, let us say, he is going to come. And he's got a magnificent chariot. Beautiful chariot, powerful horses. And in that he is going to come. In war, chariot is very important. One of the finest warriors, Arjuna, his charioteer was Krishna. Because how you maneuver with your chariot is very important. How you move in the battlefield, how swift can you go, how tactful can you drive. Because taking positions to hit the enemy is very important and the charioteer plays a vital role. So Krishna was the charioteer. Somebody good like Krishna was Shalya, who was also a chariot, not just the king. They were charioteers. They knew they need to do this. So excellent, skilled riders. That's why Shalya became the charioteer of Karna. For Shalya it was not easy. When they decided war strategic, Karna says, get me a charioteer as good as Krishna. We want to take on Arjuna, I need this. So they saw the person who can do is Shalya. Now think. To go and ask Shalya, can you be a charioteer for Karna, who is called Sutaputra, Dalit? Shalya will accept. I am a king and I am a Kshatriya and you want me to drive for this guy? Forget it, I won't. Then Duryodhana has to talk to him. Tell him, listen, we are asking you to be like Krishna. That is what you have and all that. And finally Shalya agreed. He said, okay. These are some of the mistakes the Pandavas made. The Kauravas made. They took advantage of it because Shalya is Madri's brother. Nakul and Sahadev's uncle. And he was demotivating Karna throughout. Saying things, taunting Karna. Are you scared? Are you this? And he could not. He wanted him and there was a guy who was taunting him. But chariot charioteer is very important because he can save you. A skilled charioteer can save you from the battle, can guard you, can position you in such a way that you can shoot. He should know in which angle you shoot, at which speed if you go, that arrow would get there, all that. And Ravana comes to the battlefield with a fantastic, magnificent chariot. Vibhishan saw, Ram does not even have a chariot. And Ravana has a chariot. So Vibhishan, out of pure love, got anxious. What will happen? Ram is standing bare chest. There is no armor. He didn't even wear a crown because banished. So bare chest, standing in the ground, no chariot, on foot. He has to fight. So Vibhishan got anxious. He said, this is too much of a equation, very difficult. So he runs to Ram and he says, oh Lord, I am slightly worried. All this while was okay, the warriors were different. Now this person is a very different warrior and he is well equipped. He's got chariot, he is well guarded, he is well armored, and his arsenal, his weapons are too powerful. Whereas you don't have anything. You are standing bare chest and in your own foot. I am scared. This is what Vibhishan goes and tells Ram. Before going for an important assignment, before going into some important work, if someone comes and tells, hey, listen, they are all well prepared, you are not prepared enough, what will happen to you? Can be demoralized. For nothing you guys get tensed up. Imagine then that you are going and they say, you are not equipped. Look at him. He's got a chariot, he's well equipped. What are you? I'm scared. He's scared, and when the war has to happen, he's sharing that with Ram. Ram being what Ram is, he understood Vibhishan is talking out of compassion. It is not Shalya taunting Karna. Here Vibhishan is talking out of sincerity. He understands. And he knew this is not the right thing to speak. But yet he speaks with sincerity. He takes him. Come. Don't worry, my child. I have a chariot. You think I don't have a chariot? I have a chariot. And that chariot which I have, anybody who has that chariot, they will be victorious. The chariot I have is a chariot anybody can have. If anyone who has this chariot, they will be victorious. You don't worry. Ravana has got a chariot. I also have a chariot. And that's how this text begins, the dialogue. So it goes like this. If you have the book with you, maybe we don't have the same page numbers. Mine is in English. I'm not going into the introduction verses. We don't have time for it. I'm going into the chariot straight. If this is the book you have, then it is page 19. Sauraja, dhīraja, tehi, ratha, cākā, Satya, sheela, drid, dwaja, pataka, bala, bibeka, dama, parahita, ghore, kṣamā, kṛpā, samatā, raju, jore. That is wrong. Kṣamā it is. Change. Kṣamā, forgiveness. What is written in the book is kṣamā, na? No, that's wrong. kṣamā. Sauraja, dhīraja, tehi, ratha, cākā. I have a chariot. The wheels of my chariot is sauraja and dhīraja. Sauraja, valor, courage. Dhīraja, fortitude. Fortitude, I'm explaining, I understand. Fortitude is when you are facing difficulty, you must show strength. When there is a problem, crisis, you must show strength. Valor, courage. Sauraja, courage. Valor. Dhīraja, fortitude. When there is a challenge, when there is an adversity, difficulty, at that time we should show strength. Sudden business loss, show strength. Don't run. Don't become weak. Show strength. It could be a sudden loss of property. Show strength. It could be sudden loss of something which you are doing. Sudden difficulties can come. Showing strength at adversity. Sauraja, dhīraja, tehi, ratha, cākā. I have a chariot, and this chariot has two wheels. What are the two wheels? See, and Vibhishan Gita is also called Chariot of Success, Vijay Ratha. So the two wheels are fearlessness and fortitude. Now think, what should wheels take the chariot forward? What should take us forward? Fearlessness. Fearlessness. What is the line in the pledge? Pledge. Chinmaya Mission pledge. What is that line? That is for the army. Then, sit properly. To keep us on the path of virtue, courage and wisdom. Good. To keep us on the path of virtue, courage and wisdom. Sauraj, valor, fearlessness. We must be fearless. One wheel of our life. What causes fear? Fear of death. The feeling that we and that thing is different. Duality. Unawareness. Fear of failure. Who can be fearless?
Who have the right knowledge. Standing in dharma path.
Aim is something noble. Fear exists in many levels, and the deepest fear is fear of death. And there are other fears. A scholar could be scared of another scholar. A king could be scared of another king. A businessman could be scared of another business guy, overtaking him. You understand? So fear exists in different ways. someone doing better than you, someone overtaking you, someone removing you from your position, someone becoming more popular than you, feeling defeated, or you're possessive and somebody can take it over. Fear exists in various ways. Losing, death, loss. So there was one man, a king, philosopher, Bhartrhari. He has written a book called Vairagya Shatakam. 100 verses on Vairagya. Bhartrhari. In that he says, Vairagyam eva abhayam. Vairagya alone. Please understand, this is so beautiful. That line is important. Vairagya alone will generate fearlessness. Vairagi alone can be fearless. Detached alone can be fearless. He who does not have attachment alone can be fearless. Fighting fear is to overcome attachment. You overcome attachment, fear is gone. First try that. Wherever, whatever we are scared of, the bottom line would be there would be attachment. Fight that. When you have no attachment, think. When you have no attachment, what is there to be scared? When there is no attachment, there is no selfishness either. When there is no swartha, selfishness, what is there to be scared? Chanakya was fearless because there was no selfishness in Chanakya. Fearless he was. Can walk into Nanda Darbar and go tell him, and he can curse, challenge. In front of everybody, he did that. Fearless man. So, detached alone. So, what we need, one wheel of our life should be fearless. Sauraja, fearless. There are ways of overcoming fear. That which you are scared of something, start doing it. Start facing it. Repeatedly you do it, then the fear will go. Somebody could be scared of coming and sitting and talking. Could be very scared. But once you do it again. Do it again. 5 times you do, then you're free. Fear of being judged. Fear of being judged and labeling as failure can be a great fear, which can block you doing something. No, that fear should not stop you. You will miss an opportunity. We must take it. I'll face it. Come on, I'll face. If it's a failure, I chose to attempt. It's my choice and I failed. Fine, that is better. A glorious failure, attempting something difficult and failing in a glorious attempt is better than a mediocre success. That doesn't matter. So that is important. So one wheel is fearlessness, valor. So develop that quality. Like yesterday I told you, it is your life. You should not be scared. It's your life. Whatever time is left from now onwards, live it by the terms you want. Drop the past, it doesn't matter. I made a wrong start, fine. But I'll finish it correctly. You understand? Making a wrong start is all right. Many people make a false start, wrong start. That is not the point. How you complete it is important. How you start does not matter. It really doesn't matter. But how are you going to complete it? That is very important. How we started. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody doesn't get an opportunity. Everybody doesn't put their efforts. So how we start doesn't matter. But how we finish is our choice. How you finish? When death comes and stands staring at you and you have to drop the body and move on, are you peaceful? Are you happy? Are you ready to let go and go? They are important. So it's your life. Fearless. Sauraja, valor. Dhīraja, show strength at loss. Arjuna was facing a problem and he wanted to escape. Did not show strength. Krishna spoke to him, gave him knowledge by which Arjuna gained strength. Dhīraja. Fortitude. Should not be shattered for small things. Ocean. Ocean, think. The size of the ocean. The depth of the ocean. How much of water goes into the ocean? Ocean takes it up. Which is that verse in 2nd chapter? You remember? Ocean. Apuryamanam achala pratishta. Verse number 70, 2nd chapter. Write down. Read that verse. Ocean has a depth to accept whatever is poured into it. So much of water is poured into the ocean knows to take it. Whatever be the experiences coming to us, we should know to take it, just like ocean. Dhīraja. Not to be shattered, not to break down. People come to me. There were a lot of people coming to me. I learned the art of stopping them coming to me. They'll come, Swamiji, I have a problem. Problem? Very severe problem. So before they could even explain their problem, I'll say, why? Pakistan is going to attack India with a nuclear bomb. What is the problem? Is a problem of that kind? No, not that big. Now tell, what is the problem? My mother-in-law does not say anything nice. Adathu. That's a problem? My mother-in-law. My friend did not appreciate my work. And somebody does not give me credit, somebody else takes a credit. That's a problem. What is your vision of life? That is the issue. What vision do you have? That this is the issue. I did and somebody else took the credit. I don't get recognition. What? What is your vision? The bigger, the higher you think, these things would not bother. We do not think higher than small things would bother. So you also learn this art. You will have some peace. Otherwise, everybody will come and say, I have a problem. Oh, please. Tell me your problem. My uncle did not do this. My father-in-law did this. My brother-in-law was like that. My this, that, and why is that a problem? Who doesn't have these issues in life? These are nagging stuff. Who does not have, you tell me? Someone, you think everybody is free from all that? These things would nag people. When we live in the world, the society will be like that. We should not. These are not even problems, they are just incidents. Do not overrate an incident into a problem. That overrating makes it look like a problem. Your vision of life, if it is not large and big, incidents will be overrated. And then we say this is a problem. What a problem? It's your life. Dhīraja. So when things come, show strength. I will face it. Show strength. Develop these two. Just see your life. Philosophy is not theory. Hindu Vedanta is not theory. They are practical. Sauraja, dhīraja. If we have these two wheels, on that we skate and go around life. Sauraja and dhīraja. Fearlessness and strength. Sauraja, dhīraja, tehi, ratha, cākā. Satya, sheela, drid, dwaja, pataka. Satya, sheela. Sauraja, dhīraja are the wheels of the chariot. Satya and sheela. Satya, truthfulness. Sheela, pleasant character. Sheelatvam. Susheela, pleasant character, are the flags. Flag represents victory. What can give us victory is driving on the wheels of fearlessness and fortitude, holding on to these two values called Satya and Sheela. They become the flags. They will keep you victorious. Satyam eva jayate. Truth has power. Don't underestimate truth. Truth has power. It will only win. If not now, sometime later. But truth will win. Do not underestimate truth based on one incident. It is connecting dots. One to another, one to another, one to another. When you connect these dots, then you will understand the bigger picture. You understand? We give a picture to a child. Dot, dot, you connect one dot to another dot, another dot. When you connect, you get that image. Only when you start connecting dots, you will understand the image. Truth is like that. One incident, I can't judge truth. Why that happened? At another point of time, I can understand. Because of this, that happened. Oh, I am able to connect. Then you understand, wow. So truth cannot be understood, or it should not be judged by one incident. It has a connection. It will win. You are truthful and I suffered. Don't say that. Because I am truthful and I suffered. Because I was honest, they did this to me. No, it is a dot. There is a dot in the past. Someday it will reveal, you will understand why you connected. When I look at that alone, then I'll say, no, I failed. No, it's not a failure. Truth did not fail. You connect the dots, truth will be victorious. Satyam. It is a power which will give you self-respect. It is a power which will make you not to compare yourself with anybody. It is a power which will make one walk with dignity. It is a power which will keep your head high. Truth, Satyam. Personality development has to start with Satyam, not how we look, what kind of clothes we wear, how I speak. No, it starts with your personality. Let it develop with Satyam. Changing personality, decorate yourself with Satyam. Let that stand out. Ornament, truth. Satya. Sheela, being pleasant nature. There is an art of communicating. What you need to say, you have to say it well. Say it in a way that it is not misunderstood. Say it in a way that it reaches the people correctly. Say it in a way it does not break somebody's confidence. Say it in a way it helps somebody grow. How you say is very important. Think how you say. It needs lot of intelligence, lot of alertness to understand how we say things. Same method, same words, same approach may not be applicable all times. Person to person, sometimes the approach has to change. How we say. If you are interacting with somebody tamasic, what should be the words which can shake the person out of tamas? If you're talking to somebody rajasic, what should be the words? How it should be told? How they will understand? Communication is different. If someone is predominantly sattvic, what should be the choice of words? How we approach? What should we say? In what tone we should say is important. So communication is important. Satya sheela. If we have truth and we learn the art of communicating the truth, victory is ours. We know the truth. Truth is on our side and we know to communicate truth. Communication, I am not talking about oratory. Giving powerful speech. How you interact. How you communicate with one-to-one. That is communication, not mass communication. I stand there on a stage and I speak. Brilliant. There are powerful speakers. But one-to-one gone. They can't do anything. Oratory they can. That is mass communication, not interaction. In interaction with people, there should be sheelatva. Satya sheela. More of it we will take up in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari.